right, you ready?
I'm ready to roll.
All right. Hello, and today we'll be interviewing Mr. Montante, someone who loves teaching and enjoys writing in his free time. He grew up in North Tonawanda. He enjoys watching sports, and he's a man of pop culture. He has a dog named Daisy and a big comic book collector. I'm also a man of pop culture and enjoy chatting with him in class about it. He's been my U.S. history teacher and now my part in government teacher. He's one of the people that show me that there can be fun time in class while actively learning. Today we'll be talking about the past, present, and life advice. So, how big do you say your comic book collection would be?
It's probably over 1,500 comic books. I know I have over 1,000 Spider-Man alone.
Push it a little far back.
So it might even be more. It might be like 1,800.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's the main thing in my collection. Yeah, got some pretty cool issues. I've got the first Venom,
Nice.
first Hobgoblin, signed. I don't remember by who.
Ooh.
First Carnage, a couple first Carnages actually. Don't have any of the classic ones though, because like that's a lot of money. The books from the '60s.
Yeah.
But I'm making my way back. I think I'm gonna run into issues when it comes to the first Punisher.
Yeah.
It's like a $10,000 book.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna get there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
I have the first Morbius,
Wow.
and it's a shame that movie was horrible because that book has lost a lot of value.
Yeah, no, I feel like Morbius would have been a really cool character if they did it right.
I don't know what Sony's doing with their weird spin-off Spider-Man films that aren't connected to Spider-Man at all.
I don't know. It's just gonna be one of their multiverse things.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
See what if they ever tie them back together. Cause
Yeah, if they ever make that other Andrew Garfield movie.
oh God, yeah, I've heard rumors about that and another Toby ever
Yeah.
since that No Way Home.
Yeah. How do you think growing up and collecting comic books when you were younger affected you?
I would say it kept me a certain level of youthful. Didn't hurt that like the Marvel Phase 1 stuff was happening just as I was in high school. That's kind of really what pulled me huge into collecting. When I was 10-ish, Spider-Man 2 had just come out, so maybe I was 12. And I got a subscription to something in the mail through Marvel of just Spider-Man comics. They were like remakes of original stuff. And like the subscription had started at like issue 12 or something. I'm like, I wonder if I can go back and get the other one. So I found there was a store where I grew up, and I went there and was able to get most of them. To this day, I'm still missing one in that run. I should probably go on eBay and fix that. But then, yeah, my friend was like, oh, they're doing this thing called Civil War with the comics. And I'm like, what is that? And he was explaining it was going to be Captain America versus Iron Man. So like when I jumped in right when they started doing Civil War in the comic books, and that was my starting point. And then as I got older, I kept collecting. There were times where I collected a lot. DC did like a relaunch when I was in college where they like restarted everything at issue 1. And I fell for the gimmick. I got quite a few titles when they did that, but they could not hold my attention. Only Batman was kind of interesting. So I stopped with that. I've been pretty consistent with Spider-Man since I was 12. And then I've picked up like X-Men and Avengers and then dropped it and picked it up depending on what's happening.
Nice.
But yeah, it's definitely kept me more youthful, and I don't know. I think it helps me maybe connect, although comics is kind of a dying media. Not many kids I know read it, but at least connect characters and situations to some of the history that we're learning.
Right.
I always like to compare the separation of powers in the Constitution to why do you not let someone have all 6 Infinity Stones? Because, if someone has all that power, bad things is going to happen.
Oh, yeah. So on that note, did any of the comics you read or someone in your life inspire you to become a teacher?
I can't say anything in comic books. Honestly, I feel like I wanted to be a teacher ever since I was a little kid. So I can't say there was anything in comic books that made me want to do that. can't really say there was anyone in my life either. Just, I don't know, what felt right. Kind of knew in high school what I wanted to do.
Nice. If you had the power to travel to the past, what would you tell your younger self?
Um, what would I tell my younger self if I could travel to the past? Enjoy the Sabres being good while it lasts. Take a little more risks in life. You might not believe it, but I was shy as a high school student. I know, like, getting up there and teaching every day is kind of like a performance art. You gotta, engage in everything with the students. And I don't know, I was deathly afraid of public speaking. When I was in high school, like, I had to give a presentation once in logic and debate, and literally everyone in my group was absent that day.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it all fell on me, which was okay because I did most of the work in that group anyways.
That's fair.
So, but yeah, take some more risk in life. I don't know. I've actually thought about something similar to this. Like, maybe, you're in high school now. I talked to some people I went to high school with, but not all my friends that I had in high school are still my friends. So, branch out a little bit more. Talk to other people.
Right.
Because, those connections might not last.
Yeah. What was your favorite subject in school or part of school?
Social studies. It was just super natural and easy for me. I didn't mind English, but, like, social studies, you didn't have to be so polished on the mechanics of writing. So, like, I always kicked butt in that. And I just kind of took to the content and was able to memorize things and figure out the cause and effect and see how what happened in America in 1900s affected what happened what happened with Nazi Germany affected what happened in the Americas in the 1930s and World War II and all that.
Yeah.
Some people can't make those connections or see those connections. It came natural to me.
Yeah. What is the greatest quote you've ever heard? It can be from comics or someone you knew in the past.
Well, as I'm looking at this poster here that says Poopy D Scoop, Scooby Doo, whatever the heck this Kanye West one is. But I don't know. Quotes. I don't know. I wish you would have gave me this question ahead of time. Nothing's coming to mind except with great power comes great responsibility.
That one from Uncle Ben is always a great quote.
Put it on my tombstone.
Yeah. Oh, this one might also be a little bit on the spot, but you can think about it and we'll come back to it. If you had to give a quote, what would it be?
I said something to Mr. Sigurdsson this morning that I kind of want to, I think this is good advice. Medicine doesn't always taste good. You're talking about certain situations and how, like, oh man, it stinks that we have to go through this in the short term. But you know what? Medicine doesn't always taste good.
No, that's actually really good advice.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, it's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the happy ending can always happen in the end?
I'm going to say no.
No?
No. Being someone in history, like, there will always be a happy ending, but not universally. Like, we won World War II. We won the Cold War, but there were losers on those sides of events.
Right.
So I don't think a universal happy ending is always possible. Reality, unfortunately, is not like a Disney movie where everyone lives happily ever after.
It's definitely not.
But it's not to say that you can't have your happy ending.
That is true. Like, you can have, like, a big disaster happen in, like, the middle of your life, but you could still have a good ending by the time you die.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot about things that we can't control, but, like, we ultimately can control how we let things affect us. So I guess in some respect you can have your happy ending, but, like, if I was in, like, Hiroshima,
right,
when the bombs dropped, I can't control. Like, I'm not going to have a happy ending with that situation.
No.
So to a certain extent, we can control things, unless we're in the most extreme Pompeo volcano explosion type things.
Yeah. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
I want to be made of rubber.
Made of rubber?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
I was thinking more like Luffy from One Piece.
Yeah,
But
Luffy or Plastic Man from the DC.
yeah, I never. I mean, I know who that is, Plastic Man. I never have read anything with him in it. And then Mr. Fantastic. If you ever want to be like, you think reading in school is boring? Read a Fantastic Four comic book, because when he starts going off about like the negative zone and all this like sci-fi physics stuff, I barely understand normal physics. So when you start
Yeah.
talk about the negative zone and all this stuff, I'm like, what is happening? That will make your head spin.
Yeah. No, the difference I get between Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic is Mr. Fantastic's just really smart,
Mm-hmm.
but Plastic Man, he was like mutated because of acid, and then he can like change his body to any form and his color,
Mm-hmm.
so he could really just disguise himself as anything.
Is he part of not the Justice League, but the Society one?
Uh,
Or what, does he have an affiliation in DC?
he's in DC every now and then. Like there's this one cartoon where he's like a big part of the Justice League,
Okay.
but you don't really see him much in a lot of other things. Like so he like in this one DC show, he's
was it
in like
Justice
everything.
League Unlimited?
I don't remember what show it was exactly, but he was a big part in that cartoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Plastic Man, but yeah, being made of rubber,
Yeah.
my joints hurt as I get older. If I was made of rubber, that wouldn't be a problem.
No, my top two choices would definitely be made of rubber or being able to make portals.
That'd be pretty cool. I also think about like Wolverine's healing factor.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool to just like, again, never have pain. I'm getting old. So.
Well, I mean, Wolverine still feels pain.
He does, but like he heals
he heals
instantly, and he doesn't hard to kill.
it back. Yeah. What would you like to be remembered for?
I guess making an impact on someone else's life.
Yeah.
Whether it's one of my students, random person I meet out and about, just some sort of impact on someone else's life beyond my own.
Nice. That was all my questions. Have you thought of a quote that you heard going back to it, or
I'm locking in with the Uncle Ben one. I don't know. Aside from my medicine doesn't always taste good quote that I just made up.
yeah, no, that was a good one.
Like, I don't know. I'm not a big quote person. In fact, in my high school yearbook, my quote was, "With great power comes great responsibility." But they put Spider-Man, not Uncle Ben, and I was a little upset about that because
Yeah.
I know I wrote Uncle Ben on the sheet when we submitted them.
Darn. Well, I think for mine, I just used my own quote.
What was your quote? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I can look it up real quick. But
At least you're not like one of the good luck class of blah, blah, blah. That was
Yeah,
like the
no.
generic one. And
those ones were really boring. Or it's like the ones that are just left blank.
yeah. Well, I don't know if they gave us that option. I think they like just, if you didn't put one in, it was going to be like good luck class of 2010.
Please load. But no, like, so if you don't do it, they'll just leave your section blank and
Okay.
then have your picture next to it with your name.
Okay.
Like, it would just be this empty space, and I'd be like, oh, well, I'll write something down myself.
I'm trying to think of any song lyric that kind of stands out to me as a good quote. Oh. I don't know. I'm thinking some Beatles lyrics right now.
Beatles is good.
Beatles are good. Just let it be.
Let it be, let it be. But yeah, that was my
I want to go back to the intro you had for me. You said I'm a man of pop culture.
yeah.
Only to a certain extent.
Pop culture can be really anything. There's a lot of different
My
subcategories for pop culture.
Yeah, like my girlfriend had to explain to me why Sabrina Carpenter is so popular. I'm
Yeah.
like, wasn't she a little girl from Girl Meets World? Apparently, she's a pop singer now, and I'm so out of touch with that section of pop culture. But like,
Yeah,
Marvel and action movies, okay.
yeah. There's definitely different sections.
Yeah.
All right. So my quote was, "There's always a way to, there's always a solution to a problem. It just depends on how determined you are to solve it."
Okay, I like it. Good, insightful, a lot better than mine.
Well, no, I think the medicine one.
Well,
People.
no, the
People,
Uncle Ben one.
oh yeah, the Uncle Ben one. Yeah.
I wish 18-year-old me thought about the medicine one. That would have been a staple in the yearbook.
Oh yeah. Well, recently I actually heard that we weren't allowed to say our own quote. I was like, I didn't read that in the small text that they sent us.
You guys weren't allowed to make up your own quote?
Apparently,
Oh, man, that's weird.
I already put it in. I was told afterwards, but it still made it in the yearbook.
I was going to say you can attribute it to someone else. Shakespeare said this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but yeah, that has been the interview project
All
for
right.
College English 12.
Well, I was glad I could help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.